You ever wonder why people with zero knowledge on a topic always seem to think they're right and everyone else is wrong? There's a name for this phenomenon, the Dunning-Kruger effect. In 1995, a man by the name of MacArthur Wheeler went into a bank and robbed them in broad daylight. The strange thing about this robbery is that Wheeler did not seem to care about surveillance, as he did this act without a need for a mask or any other form of disguise. In fact, the first thing that he did was look in the security camera and smile. As a result of this stupidity, his face was on the local news and he would manage to get arrested the same night. When later questioned about why he didn't wear a disguise, he was under the impression that by having lemon juice on his face, he would be invisible to cameras, as lemon juice is used for invisible ink. A few years later, David Dunning and Justin Kruger from Cornell University studied this and thus came up with the Dunning-Kruger effect. But what exactly is the Dunning-Kruger effect? Well, it's a type of cognitive bias where people believe they are smarter and more capable than they really are, where there is an inability of recognizing their own incompetence and overestimating their true capabilities. This is best evident when you're in a group and someone continues to prattle on a particular topic, saying that everyone else is wrong and he's right, when in reality everyone knows he's wrong. Examples of the Dunning-Kruger effect can be shown everywhere, from lemon juice Wheeler to the experiment that was conducted on 65 participants to rate how funny different jokes were. The results show that although the participants rated themselves as excellent judges of humour, they did exceptionally poor at determining what people find funny. In another example, Dunning and Kruger got subjects to complete a number of tests and asked them how well they thought they had done. This experiment produced an interesting pattern. All those who thought they did badly on tests, almost all of them assumed that they had done much better beforehand, whereas those who did well assumed that they had done a lot worse. So what explains this psychological effect? Are some people just too dense to know how stupid they really are? This effect comes from something called a dual burden. Dunning and Kruger state that people are not only incompetent, this very incompetence takes away the ability to know how inept they really are. Here are the three main things that incompetent people tend to do. Number 1. Overestimate their skills. Because incompetent people are unable to recognize their lack of skill and mistakes, this creates two problems. The first is that they will perform badly in their specific domain, and the second is that they are unable to learn from their mistakes, and therefore that this lack of knowledge cannot improve and fix their first problem. The second thing incompetent people do is fail to recognize genuine skill and expertise of others. This incompetence leads to difficulties with metacognition. This is where an individual is unable to step back and look at their own behavior and abilities from a different perspective. This one is important because people often only view and evaluate themselves from their own limited and highly subjective point of view. Because of this, people sometimes struggle to have a more realistic view of their own abilities. And finally, incompetent people are a victim to overconfidence because of little knowledge they truly have. While striving and obtaining knowledge is a good thing, having little knowledge on something is a dangerous thing. Because of the Dunning-Kruger effect, having little knowledge on something may trick an individual to thinking that they are an expert on a particular subject. The Dunning-Kruger is just one cognitive bias that could affect your behaviors and decisions. Whilst they may be easy to recognize, it's important to understand that this behavior affects all of us, and therefore by learning, practicing, and questioning ourselves constantly, we are able to minimize this effect on ourselves. Make sure to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Peace.